Tetralogical.
Accessible building blocks for web. Buttons. Buttons on websites enable people to take action, from adding items to a shopping cart to updating content or submitting a form. It's important that buttons on your website work for everyone. This includes people who use a keyboard, voice input, or screen reader, people who rely on good color contrast to read text, and people with limited dexterity. So, how do you make buttons accessible to all? Descriptive labels, a distinctive visual presentation, and mindful coding are all key to accessible buttons.
Language. Start by writing labels that clearly and accurately describe what your buttons do. In this form on the Tetralogical website, the Submit button is labelled Subscribe to make it clear that submitting the form subscribes the person. Labels such as Submit or Send would not be as clear. Icons can also be used on buttons and may help some people understand their functionality. For example, a down arrow icon pointing towards a flat line is commonly used for buttons that let people download files. When using icons, always also include a visible text label. Without one, people using voice commands such as click plus label may struggle to activate buttons because there's no clear label to reference. Icons with no label may also be difficult for some people with seeing or thinking disabilities to see and understand. Both an icon and the text download are on a download button on YouTube, for example.
Visual design. Buttons offer a very different functionality from other interactive components such as links and should have a different visual treatment. Give all buttons on your website a distinctive look so people can easily identify them as a button and not a link. On the Tetralogical website, buttons have a dark purple label and a yellow background, while links are underlined and have no solid background. To ensure sighted people can read labels with ease, give them a color that has a good contrast with the background colors, at least 4.5:1. To make it easier for people with limited dexterity to select your buttons, design a large target area. As a minimum, a target area of 44 by 44 pixels is recommended.
Implementation. People must be able to reach and select buttons on a website using a mouse, a keyboard, voice commands, a screen reader, or any other assistive technology or input device. If you code your buttons with the HTML button element, you can be sure they will be accessible to all. If you decide to create custom buttons instead, ensure they're keyboard accessible and are announced as button by screen readers. You can use the tab index attribute together with some JavaScript to implement keyboard support and the role attribute with a value of button to convey role information to screen readers.
In summary, buttons with a descriptive text label, a distinctive visual appearance, and the correct semantics are better for everyone. To learn more, visit tetralogical.com.